what I'm doing exactly here is I am drilling the first center hole in the blank for the wingwood collar. This is the first hole that's drilled in the center of the blank before it's turned. A mandrel will go in this end when I put it on the lathe, and then just dead live center on the lathe go in this end. So I'm only drilling down so far the depth that my mandrel's gonna go in. I've got a jig to where I stand the body of the caul straight up after the caul is made, and actually drill the inside of the caul out up here. So it's not real super crucial that this hole right here be dead center of the blank, because when I spin it on the lathe's gonna straighten all that out anyways. Lathe's gonna straighten all that out. But I've got a series of blanks to drill here. Each will order. Just, you know, the wingwood turkey collar ships nationwide almost every day. Matter of fact, the mail lady just pulled up in my yard a few minutes ago. Like, my goodness, there's some more to be shipped. But the calls that I'm drilling right now is going out to allpredatorcalls.com. The big game calling superstore out west. But I'm gonna show you here in just a second the 3 calls here that they're getting on this restocking. I had to walk over to the lathe and get this this pin. This is a steel pin. This pin is in the chuck on my lathe, and this blank goes up on this pin. Again, this is the motor end on my lathe over here, and then my dead center on my tailstock, you know, sticks in the end on this end, and that's how the every one of the wingwood collar bodies is turned. And then, like I said, I've got a jig over here. This is a jig that's used with the drilling of the wingwood collar. You see these pins on here? I take the body of that caul and stand it up on there like that, and it's pushed up under here and come down with several different size drill bits, including a tapered reamer is running the caul right at the end where the sound comes out back here. But that's a little bit of the process there on the wingwood turkey collar. The first, allpredatorcalls.com, they're getting, of course, another restock on the wingwood collar. They are also getting more of the squirrel distress whistles. This is another call that I can't hardly keep. Mimics the sound of the baby squirrel in distress. Like that. Another call that they are getting is the deer fawn bleat distress call. This is a very effective call in calling, of course, deer. Mainly like starting out this time of the year during warm to hot weather, you know, when lots of does are dropping fawns, this is also an extremely deadly call on calling cows this time of the year, especially around you know, farmland or wherever it might be. As soon as a doe drops a young fawn, and something, you know, another cow or whatever varmint it might be comes along and gets a hold of that fawn, another thing that I do to this fawn call, as you can see, the fawn bleat call is the same identical call body, the wood part, as like the squirrel distress, but it's different inside. I add this this plastic mouthpiece up here, and I also put a dual chamber bushing in the butt end of the call here, which you see the sound comes out of those two holes, and that muffles the call down just a little. It cuts about maybe between a third and a half of the volume. So when you're sitting out there, like if you're sitting in the woods, you know, the call's not so blasting loud. It's more of a lower, softer end volume type call. So, you know, if you sit down somewhere and there happen to be a predator, a coyote or whatever already close to you, it's not going to be like you're just going to be just overloading him or just blasting him completely with sound. That's the deer distress fawn bleat call. One subject right here that I'm going to touch in regards to the wingwood caller. You know, sometimes I can cross some strange encounters or subjects with the game calls here. And I've crossed 3 or 4 of them here lately. I've got some requests out of people that they want the wingwood turkey collar. Okay? Of course, I can ship it to you wherever. Ship them all the time, all across the U.S. But the request is people wants the call, but they don't want the name on it. They don't want the name Mosses Creek Wingwood. They don't want the wingwood name on the call. Alright, my only question about that is later in time, when it comes to the fact of any collector getting a hold of one of these calls, you know, they're going to have issues with that, with the call being unbranded. I know a guy that's a call collector that was going to purchase a call that he liked the looks of off of an online auction back a week or so ago, and the call wasn't branded or marked with any name, you know, and he was concerned about that. He was wondering about that. He sent me pictures of the call, asking me, could I possibly tell by looking at it who made it? And of course I told him I couldn't tell. And but anyway, you know, my big issue right now is I'm kind of at a stumbling block here with a wingwood collar. It's being requested without the name on it, as I said there a second ago. And I kind of hate to mention this, but this may be leading up to a resale issue. Folks ordering the wingwood collar and, you know, possibly reselling the call without a name on it. You know, as far as me being the maker, I will say yes, I have a problem with that. And if I see pictures of one anywhere that don't have my name on it, yeah, I'm going to have questions. I'm going to have questions, all right. So, actually, what I'm thinking about doing is through this summer here, this year, 2025, I'm going to be deciding what I'm going to do for sure on possibly some kind of a name change, not changing the name of the call. The call will still be a wingwood, the Mosses Creek wingwood, but the name may be put on the call differently. I may end up having my name laser engraved all the way down one side, and then I may have Mosses Creek wingwood laser engraved from one end to the other, all the way up other side. And along with that, I'm probably going to go up anywhere between probably between $5 and $10 more higher on the price of the call. So I've been selling the call on the website for $25, and then there's like a $5.50 shipping fee added, which comes to, I believe it's $30.50. So by the end of this summer, and again, I kind of hate to say this, the wingwood collar may be pushing $50. You know, and it's because of this issue that's come up. People requesting the wingwood turkey collar, but they don't want my company name on it. You know, and that's an issue. So, but again, you know, the wingwood collar, it is a very effective call. I've had a number of folks out there across the country here lately that's wrote me comments, said, you know, it is a deadly call. Do not leave home or do not go to the hunting woods without one. But, you know, it's just going to take a little bit of thinking here over some part of the summer here on what changes that I'm going to make. But I'm going to tell you now, I am not going to put the time into this that I put into it to making every individual call and put them out there without a name on them. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. If I suspicion anything in regards to resale, I'm going to jump the price $5 higher on the call every time that I hear any word about any resale on the wingwood turkey collar. As far as anybody ordering the calls and numbers and then reselling them, you're going to have to turn around. You're going to have to sell them for $200 a piece to make anything. That's what it's going to lead to. And I hate to put it that way, but that's just, you know, all this comes down to these 4 or 5 requests that I've had lately. And when I stand here, you know, and I turn every one of them from scratch. I paid for all the equipment. I paid for all the supplies to make them. I paid for all the tools to put the names on them, and put my time into it to producing a quality product here for the outdoorsman. Putting them out there without my name on them, you know, that's just not an option. I'll completely discontinue the wingwood collar. The wingwood collar won't be available no more, you know, when it comes down to it. So, but anyway, this is just a subject I was going to hit on when, as I'm working on these big batch of calls here for restocking at allpredatorcalls.com out west. So, hope you have a good one. Until next time, I'm Gary Carlin, Moss's Creek Outdoors, and I'll see you next time.